Alright, so I'm about ready to put the valve tappets or the lifters in. I had the machine shop grind these. They were a little bit rough, and the way they grind them, they're actually, if you can see it, they're just a little bit pointed in the middle, and they say that's the way they're supposed to be. That keeps them spinning around in circles and not wearing bad. But we're going to just kind of wipe them down, and they're pretty clean. They just kind of got some oil on them, but we're going to use some of this Mogul assembly lubricant. I've always liked to use the red stuff on, this is actually green. Thought it was red. I don't know if I like green. Too much like a John Deere. That's some sticky stuff right there. So anyway, we're going to lube these up and we're going to put the camshaft in. I've got the timing plate, just the first plate on. You have to put it on before the camshaft goes in place. So I'm going to have a sticky mess with this stuff. This is just gooey. Golly. Anyway, get the camshaft in there maybe. I should have just dipped these in a bucket of this stuff. I had the camshaft was polished. Didn't replace it. They said it spec'd out pretty good at the shop. And I'm kind of trusting the shop to do what they say they're supposed to do, so I hope they're right. But I'm gonna coat these cam bearings in this same stuff, I think. This could probably be used on all the bearings in it. It is assembly lube, so it would work. More like a STP sticky stuff, I think. And I should probably be using a paintbrush. That's how the real engine builders do it, but I couldn't find a paintbrush, so painting's not my thing. I do know one thing, I'm gonna have to clean the block off pretty good after I get done with this. So it's ready to go in. And this thing only has 3 cam bearings. It doesn't have any. It's kind of weird they put journals on it, but they only have 3. There you go, Roxy. What Roxy Dogger. She wants me to go ride. She loves to go ride. She doesn't ride though, she actually just runs, so there's her cam install. Oh, this ain't quite in there right. I say that ain't working. I've got to line up this plate on the front cover. It's got 2 bolts that holds it in place. I believe something like that. Now looks like it'll work. Seems to turn fine. So we get the bolts put into that. Okay, little update on where I'm at on the engine. I am to the point I've got the camshaft installed. I think I got that on video. I got the idler gear installed. This is actually a left-hand bolt. Book recommends Loctite, 86 pounds of torque. You might notice I got bolts in all of these. Shouldn't have yet. Some of the inside ones are bolted permanently, but I'll be pulling these back out. But the reason I did that, I'm a little leery of these gaskets. They tear just a little bit easy, it seems like. So I wanted to use silicone, but in order to use silicone, I needed to get everything bolted down and let it cure. And then when I get ready to put the front cover on, then I can go ahead and pull these bolts out and bolt the front cover, which is laying down here. I'm getting ready to do the balancer assembly. I've got a brand new balancer assembly bought from Reliance Power Parts, and it is here. And there is no noticeable end play, or there's just no play in it. But I've been trying to clean the paraffin, or I don't think it's paraffin, but whatever they use to preserve these. Preservative, that's what word I was looking for. I'm trying to clean the preservative off of it. I've got it pretty much ready to go, I think. But I was going to show you. If you look at one of these, and you look at the, well, let's just lay this bar across here. Well, that don't lay across there, but if you look at it from the end, you can kind of see this gear sets up a little higher. This is the one that actually drives against the crankshaft. So we got a mark right here. Now, I don't know why they don't mark them on the front. It'd be a little easier to see it, I think. Maybe not. But what we got to do is put the engine on number 2 top dead center, which we're on number 1 top dead center now. Number 2 would be right there. Pretty near it. And we look for a timing mark on, you can see a mark right there on that gear. There's actually 2 on here, and they put 1 in the recess right there, so I'm fairly certain that would be our mark. Like I say, they're not easy to see, so when we set that down in there, I may want to paint these so that I can get a better look at them. Oil pump's in place, but we can't put the tubes in until the balancer, the oil actually feeds through the balancer into the block up to the filter, and that's the way that goes. Anyway, I think I'm supposed to check the end play between the balancer and this gear. If it's wrong, I really don't know what you do, because I don't think there's a shim made for this. So I guess if it's too loose, you can maybe machine off a little bit of the balancer housing. But anyway, I think we're coming along fairly good. I got a few things to work out. I decided to order head bolts. They won't be in probably till next week. This is Wednesday, I think. I'm kind of hoping to get the bottom end together, maybe get the gear train, everything, the injector pump mounted on the front, gear cover on it. What I'm kind of looking at is I could do all of that, save the head for last, get the oil pan on. There is a groove in the crank. I'm debating whether to get a speedy sleeve or go with the book's recommendations. The book says you can actually put the seal in at a different depth and you will have a new wear surface here, so that's probably the best option at this point. Brand new oil pump. I sent this to Idaho. I had Jeff Anderson go through and fine tune it. It's in top shape. Got the cam cover on the, or tappet cover on the side here. Like I say, all the pistons are, all the mains are torqued, all the pistons are, rods are torqued. I actually went through and checked the rods twice because I put new bolts in it. And I got a little concerned because when I was doing the plastic gauge, I was noticing it was a little bit different on the, you go to 18 foot-pounds and then you do 2 flats or 120 degrees. And I was noticing a little bit of difference, so I tightened them all up, went in, tapped them with a hammer, not real hard, but just enough to kind of shock load that bolt to get it to seat. And I retorqued those. So I think we're in good shape there, maybe. Do not know what that is. Anyway, I'm trying to keep it as clean as I can. Oh, that's a piece of my silver marker. The end fell off. I forgot to get that out. But it was laying right down there on top of the piston. So, but anyway, I need to put the balancer on, get it torqued, and it's a little noisy today. I got the heater running. It got cold finally, a little bit. Well, I say cold, it's 45. For you northerners, that's t-shirt weather. Anyway, that's kind of where I'm at. Like I say, I think the camera died when I was putting this front cover on. It basically has a gasket behind it, but I went ahead and put a thin bead of silicone on both sides on the inside edge of it. And like I say, I wanted to get everything squeezed down, but you have to put it on before you can put on the camshaft, or put the cam gear and the idler gear on. Yeah, anyway, that's where I'm at today. Okay, so I ran into an issue with the Reliance Power Parts balancer. When I tried to turn the engine over, number 3 rod, connecting rod, hit the plug. Okay, that's not that big a deal. Probably could grind the plug off, but the problem is when I push the crankshaft all the way to the back and I push the rod all the way to the back, I've only got 5/1000 clearance between the rod and this pin. Now the old balancer, these pins are actually recessed, and when I measure the thickness of this housing, it is actually a little bit thinner than this one. Same on the back side. So, called Reliance Power Parts. They said they've sold 10 of these this year. They've never had an issue. Huh, okay. Well, I'm not comfortable with 5/1000 clearance. If we get any bearing wear, if we get any crank deflection, if I run into a big tree with my dozer, is it going to hit? I don't know. I do know that crankshafts do bend, rods do flex, things inside these engines don't just always stay exactly where they are when they're sitting still. So anyway, the task at hand now is to grind these shafts off, and I'm debating over whether to pull. I think I need to probably pull this housing apart, because when I grind it, it's going to be nasty. So got to rework some parts here. Would I recommend Reliance Power Parts? I don't know. They're the only ones that had this balancer, except for the used ones. So anyway, so if you're rebuilding a DT239 and you buy a new balancer from Reliance Power Parts, just be aware there could be an issue here. Do I think this is a deal breaker? No. This can be fixed. It's good I caught it. I got a little lucky. Usually don't really even think about these things, but I did notice when I looked at it, these pins stick out the end of the housing, and the old ones were recessed in the housing. So I did check. There is a spec in the book between the actual rod and the bottom side of this. I checked it with a piece of 332 wire, which is thicker than the spec, and it all fit. So that part of the housing's fine. This part is not. Another thing I realized is I forgot to put the little, what do you call those? They're not dowels, they're a sleeve or whatever. I forgot to put those in, so anyway. I'm getting lucky, I guess. I don't know. At least we're still at a point now we can remedy this. I'm not getting as far along as I'd like to because of stuff like this, but you know, it's part of it. It's part of rebuilding old stuff. It doesn't always go like brand new, which I don't even know if brand new parts go like they should anymore. Probably not. So anyway, a little grinding work. It's gonna be fun. Okay, so I got the cylinder head torqued. I got this is where I made a mistake. I had the timing cover on. I had everything in place, but I forgot to put this gear in there. So I had to pull the timing cover off. Had to clean up the gaskets. I got to get another gasket. But anyway, I was going to show you the timing marks on this timing gear. The way the book describes it, you don't even have to have this timing gear in the right spot to make it work because of the slots. There's slots in this ring here, so you got a lot of adjustment there. But the book said if we have a timing mark, or if we have a 4-cylinder engine with the type of water jacket that mine has, then we're going to set it on timing mark number 2. We're going to line that up there. My camshaft gear, it's lined up with my crank gear, idler gear. Just a side note on this idler gear, it has a different number of teeth than this gear, so if you turn this engine over one turn, these marks won't line up. That doesn't mean it's wrong, but if you back the engine up, you'll line these back up again. It's just because this is an odd number of gears, odd number of teeth, I guess. The important thing is this gear has exactly got half as many teeth as the cam gear. That gives it half as many revolutions. Now our fuel pump gear, it's the same way. It's going to be the same size, same number of teeth as our camshaft gear because it needs to turn. But this gear here, if you turn the engine over a couple times, your timing marks won't line up. So it's it can be aggravating because you'll look at it and you'll say, hey, I thought I had that timed, and then you figure out you didn't. So but anyway, I went 2 steps forward and half a step back here. 20 pounds of oil pressure cranking by hand here. I got oil coming out of all the top end. I'd say that's pretty good, 30 pounds. So she's pumping oil. I think that's going to work. Got everything lubricating in the top. Got my turbo line just capped off. The pressure's dropping. Anyway, we're coming along. I still got to time my pump and put my injectors in. Flywheel housing needs to go on, and intake, exhaust manifold. We're getting close.